Hi, and welcome to Living in El Paso, Texas. My name is John Peña, and I'm a realtor with eXp Realty. And today I'm going to share with you exactly where El Paso is on a map. Now, if you're from here, if you live here, then you already know where El Paso is, but there's some tidbits in here that you might find interesting still. We've got 2 states involved, 2 countries involved, a famous river running through, and a beautiful mountain range. So stay tuned and we'll take a look.
Okay, here we go. We've got our 2 countries, Mexico here to the south and the United States to the north. And then we've got our 2 states that are involved in this little geography lesson. New Mexico, land of enchantment to the north, and Texas, there you can see, takes up everything to the east. El Paso is completely located within the borders of Texas. And just for fun, we've got Arizona over there in the west, just so you can get a little bit of perspective. Here we've got I-10. Interstate 10 starts in Santa Monica, California, runs across the country, and ends in Jacksonville, Florida. You can see that I-10 comes in at Phoenix through Tucson, then you hit Las Cruces, down south to El Paso, and then it continues on to San Antonio. Great interstate, not a lot of traffic, so we really can't complain there. We're zoomed in a little bit here. So up north, there's 2 points I want to show you. Las Cruces is in New Mexico. We went there a couple weeks ago. It was super nice. Took some pictures there. It's definitely a little bit smaller than El Paso, but certainly one of our closer American cities. And then to the north and east, White Sands National Park is awesome. We went there a couple of times last year. Basically what it has is this rare gypsum white sand, and no matter how hot it is outside, the sand doesn't heat up, so it can be sculpture outside, but you can walk around in your bare feet with no problem. So it's a pretty cool place. Directly below El Paso is the Mexican city of Ciudad, Juarez, and that terrible Spanish pronunciation deserves an explanation.
My last name is Peña, and I am not bilingual. So how does this happen? Well, my father is Mexican American, so that's where the name Peña comes from. But when I was growing up, he didn't speak Spanish with me or my mother, so I didn't really learn it very well at all, quite honestly. I did try in high school. I took Spanish and had relative success, and then we actually lived in Mexico for a year, and I tried my darndest, but it's just not something that really comes all that natural to me. So if you come up to me and speak Spanish, you're likely to get something like this. Lo siento, señor or señorita. Mi español es muy mal, which I hope means, I'm so sorry, my Spanish is terrible.
Yikes. Okay. Now that we have that out of the way, El Paso and Juarez are the second largest binational metropolitan areas on the Mexico-US border, right behind San Diego and Tijuana, and we'll certainly have more videos on Juarez and the relationship that El Paso has with it in future videos. Now we're going to take a look at the satellite map so that you can get a little bit more of a perspective kind of the geography of the land. And you can see, first off, if you take a look in the middle of the screen, there's this crazy winding border between Texas and New Mexico. It is definitely a wee bit on the confusing side when you're driving around there. We've driven around there to visit a couple of different wineries that we thought were pretty awesome. But one minute you're in Texas, the next minute you're in New Mexico, and it's pretty fun to explore that area. Like I said, tons of really cool wineries to explore, really nice kind of natural landscapes, tree farms down there. So it's a pretty great little area. And on this map we have the Rio Grande River. It's outlined in blue there for you. You can see that it winds through New Mexico. Obviously is the border between Mexico and the United States, goes through El Paso, continues down south. The Rio Grande actually flows out of the Rocky Mountains in Colorado and ends in a small sandy delta at the Gulf of Mexico near Brownsville, Texas, which is actually one of the places we did consider relocating to. We visited, we love the water, it's right there on the Gulf, but the humidity is pretty serious, so El Paso turned out to be the place for us. And now my favorite, the Franklin Mountains, which are also a state park. They are previously known as Las Sierras de los Mansos. The highest peak is 7,192 feet. The mountain itself is made up of sedimentary rock and is referred to by geologists as tilted block fault mountains. The mountains are beautiful, they're awesome. You can see them in the background of my videos. One quick note, I said in the previous video that they kind of separate the west side from the east side. We're on the west. You can actually drive through the mountain on a road called the Trans Mountain Highway. So that's one way to get from the east to the west, or you can take I-10 and go just south of the mountains and go through there. And there is tons of hiking to be done in here. Here's some pictures of us on various hikes. We usually started on the east side of the mountain and went up to the top, but we couldn't continue. You can actually go all the way over and through to the west side, but it's a pretty gnarly climb from what I hear. There's chains involved. I don't think we could take the dog, but definitely in a future video, that's something that we're gonna do. So there's the Franklin Mountains, just so you can get a good idea of where they sit in relation to El Paso. And now, just so that you can get some perspective, this is me filming right there where the star is, and basically the camera is looking off a little bit to the southeast, so I'm going to go ahead and switch over to a live shot so you can get a better idea of where we are.
Okay, as promised, here we are in my backyard, and the camera typically looks off kind of southeast here. The power lines run east, and then this way off my left shoulder is direct south, and that is Mexico. Those mountains in the back, those belong to Mexico.
Finally, the last slide here visually breaks down the west side and the east side of El Paso. I've been talking about that a little bit. So the west side is a little bit on the smaller side, but the east side definitely takes up more space, to the point that we have an area called the Northeast as well as the Far East. The airport is over here. Fort Bliss, the Army base, is here on the east side. So in future videos, we'll definitely talk more about these different areas, the pros and cons of each, and where you might be interested in either visiting or relocating to.
Okay, so there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that gave you a little bit better idea of where we're located. And as you know, I am a real estate agent, so if you or anybody you know is interested in buying, selling, investing in El Paso, please let me know. I would love the opportunity to earn your business. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. Oh boy.